Alright, for this module, we are going to make a shading model switch in case you wanted to change this shading model to something other than skin, or if you wanted to change it to a different subsurface uh, shading model. So to do that, it's pretty simple. Basically, we are just going to be using switches within this main material function and plugging it into this final set material attributes. So let's go ahead and start that. So let's drag out a switch parameter, and we'll just say this is going to be a shading model, and then this is going to be, we'll say it's SSS. So if SSS is true, we want to dictate what kind of SSS it is. So we'll do another switch. So shading model. What do they call it? Is it like? Let me check what they actually call it. Let's go here. So they call it subsurface profile or subsurface. So we'll just say if it's SSS, we'll just do S profile. If that's true, we're going to be using the shading model and not default lit. We're going to change that to subsurface profile. And if that's false, we'll just use the normal subsurface. Cool. And then if this is false, we can just resort to a default lit. Or you could go into different stuff like the cloth shading model, the hair, but you'd have to go through and make some switches with inside of these, which I can show you for the SSS profile. So let's go ahead and save this out. It's going to change the shading model on us, I think. Once we do that, if we save this, actually, we need to switch our M Uber skin. So this is the main material, not the material function. We need to change the shading model of this to be from material expression because we're using the material expression to drive which shading model we're using. So go ahead and do that. So we can see for some reason it shows cloth in there. That's kind of weird. But it does subsurface and subsurface profile. Let's go back here and make sure it's not cloth. It is cloth. All right. So let's change that to default lit and save that out. So it should be correct now. Cool. So if we go back here, we can see our guy here is now using the default lit profile, which is not what we want, or it might be what you want. You can change that yourself. So it does kind of give us options for how we can switch between different types of materials within the material itself, and only having a single material to for like all different surface types. So we'll enable this, so it should change it to subsurface, which it does, but we want to make sure it uses subsurface profile. And it should look like it was before. Cool. Go ahead and save that. So let's say we actually did want to use just the subsurface shading model. Let's go over to our subsurface module. Go in there and actually go back here. I want to copy copy these, but make sure we put these into the shading model. So I think it's 13. Shading model. That's fine. We might change this stuff later. These don't actually have a parameter we can change, because if we just put in shading model, there's no option for parameter. So we have to dictate these within it. It would be nice if they had a parameter that we could change really quickly. So if we do that, we can go to, let's copy this, go to SSS. So we got the shading model switch in here. So what we want to do is, since these are derived from this over here, whenever these are checked, it's also going to check these ones. So we can actually delete this guy. We just care about this one. So if the profile is selected, we're going to be using our old stuff here. So we can plug that in. But if the profile is not selected, we're going to be using the other SSS shading model, which uses some different attributes. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what kind of attributes we've got. Let's add, I think one is called subsurface color. Yeah. And opacity should be the same. Cool, that should be good. All right. So actually we should be able to use all the same stuff for the opacity, if that's true. So let's actually put that in there, and then we just want to change the subsurface color. So if this is true, we just want to be the color of 0. So just do a constant of 0, because we don't want anything to happen. Because those, for some reason, they didn't allow us to do colors for the shading model for subsurface profile through parameters for some reason, which it would be nice, because then we could put a subsurface map with different colors, which is technically how it should be. But we can do it with this one here, even though it's a cheaper shading model. So that we have that, all we need to do is just put in a 3-vector here, and then this will be called SSS color. We can change this to some red, I guess. Okay. And then let's say if we want to use a map instead, let's do a switch. Static switch parameter, and then let's do SSS color map. So I put this in false, but if it's true, let's do a linear interpolate. Let's copy that, put that in here, as well as do another one, put it here, and we'll just rename color color 1 and color 2. And then for this, we can just put in probably the same thing as this, and actually delete that. do this. SSS color map channel. This will be SSS color map. Okay. This one, let's just change this to SSS map. Okay, that should be good. Alright, wrapped. Should be in SSS already. These ones should be in SSS. These need to stay in the shading model. And then this can go into subsurface color. Let's go ahead and save that and see if anything breaks. Wait for all the shaders to compile. And go over here. We forgot to put something somewhere. This guy. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. It's kind of weird that we have to go back here and save it out. Okay. So now that we got that, now we can actually go through, and if we turn this off, we should get options to change the SSS color. Yeah. So So right now it doesn't look like it's working correctly. Let me see if I can go through and see if there's anything wrong with it. I'll be right back. Well, I tried to do some bug fixing, but I guess this is just what you get with Lumen and subsurface profile. Or no, just the subsurface model. Let's see. I did go through here and rename some stuff. Because I figured some stuff might be clashing. So here's what those look like now, and then I changed this one up in here too. So I don't know if that does anything, but I did what I could. But that's typically how you would change the shading model to do that. I'm just gonna set the default to true for that, as well as in this one here. Set that default to true, and this one to true. Save that and save that, because you can see it looks correct in here. So I'm not sure what's going on with the lighting out there in the viewport, but let's see. Click this. nice. It is cool to have this kind of switch so you can, whoops, so we can actually change this to a default material, and you can have your entire character using the same material, which is cool. And then you just create little instances to change the shading model for it. So yeah, that's how you create the switching.